So super happy that you could join me this morning. Happy September 1st. Today I thought is a great day to do this interview with you. Fitness is really important to me as well as it should be to everybody. Health, I think, is wealth. And I love the fact that you ride motorcycles too. So I thought I could just, yeah, interview you about who you are, how you started, how women who are interested in both riding and doing yoga, how that incorporates all together. When I ride, it's very meditating and like it calms me down, and I feel it's very parallel to yoga in a way. Do you find that too?
Absolutely. Just the vibrations and just like being in the moment and just constantly observing your surroundings and checking in with yourself, that connectedness that we all share with that same feeling. I feel when we meet other motorcycle riders, it's like one thing that we can all connect with, that feeling, able to have that freedom to roam.
Okay, and where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Calgary, born and raised. I moved to Ontario. This November will be 9 years. So I've been living in the GTA with my grandmother.
And
Yeah.
how long have you been riding?
This is my fifth year riding, and I'm on to my second motorcycle that I've owned. And I would say I'm up to about 50 different motorcycles that I've gotten the opportunity to try riding. So it's
Awesome.
definitely something I'm very passionate about, and I'm very grateful for all the friends and family like support. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
have had so many fun adventures under my belt if I didn't have like all the mentors and friendships that have transpired over the years of riding. So I'm very grateful for all that.
Did
I've been
yoga come first or did motorcycle come first?
Yeah, definitely came first. I started teaching in 2018, is when I became a certified instructor. I've been practicing on and off since I was 16 years old. I did my first yoga class in Calgary just when I was in high school, and I really liked it. So when I moved to Ontario, I did an exchange program that led me into teacher training. I've been teaching through different schools and senior communities. I also do a lot of workouts like with my grandmother, who's 87 years old. She'll be 88 in the spring. So she's
Amazing. That health
definitely,
is wealth, like I said. And does she love it too?
she does. Yeah. She's very inspiring. I find that through my students, they're actually my greatest teachers. So,
So doesn't matter what age you are, you can do yoga. Is that your message?
yes. Absolutely. My girlfriend also has an 8-year-old daughter, so she'll have me come over and we'll practice some mindfulness and stretches together. And it's kind of fun to go from 8 to 88.
And yoga's not just about stretching, like you said, it's also about mindfulness. There's a certain calm that I feel you have when you ride a motorcycle, just like in yoga. When I'm riding my bike, I can't think about any of my problems because I'm focused on the road, but that in itself is such a big stress reliever. And I found that in yoga as well too.
My favorite poses and sayings that go along with it is the warrior pose. So similar to when we get on our motorcycles, we almost feel like a warrior, like goddess, getting all armored up, getting ready to just go out and explore. And we're just leaving our troubles behind. There's a lot of time in our helmets that we do start to think about things, but
Mhm.
it's nice that with every bit of distance that we travel, you can observe like the change in temperature or the different smells around you. So it really pulls you back into the present moment and out of your head, to be with yourself and just checking in. And with the warrior pose, again, if you have your one hand behind you and the other in front, the one hand behind is again representing the past, and then your other hand in front of you, which is representing the future ahead. but then there's your core being, which is in the present moment. So as you're traveling ahead towards the future, you're just finding yourself in that present moment, being where you are on your motorcycle at that present time, and then leaving behind you the past. So,
I love that because really the only time we have is right now in this present moment. And it's so hard to just be in that present moment. So that's what I love about yoga and what it teaches. And I think you're so calming, your energy. I'm like all over the place, and you're just ready, already calm me down. So do you offer online yoga so anybody can come join your classes across Canada?
yes, so I've been hosting a virtual motorcycle yoga class for female riders since it was November of 23 was the first class. And
Awesome.
maybe fortunate enough to get like a one-on-one class with me, or sometimes there's up to like 16 girls that will join an accessible program that people can join. It's held on the third or fourth Wednesday of every month. I
Fourth
do,
Wednesday of every month. Okay.
yeah, I do try to like put posters out across all of the female ride platforms, just as like a heads up, letting them know like what time the class will start in their time zone, just to make it a little bit easier for them.
How do you specifically use the principles of yoga, like focus, balance, and breathing, to become a better, safer rider on the bike?
That's a great question. By taking the time out for yourself, it can be quite challenging at first if it's a new practice for you. Because often we wake up and we just jump right into our day, and it's just go, go, go right until sleep. And a lot of us are on our screens. So if we can take that time to discipline ourselves just to sit quietly, even 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes if you're trying to incorporate in a bit of movement, just to check in with your body, noticing that you're breathing, noticing if your breathing is shallow or if your breathing is deep. A lot of us breathe shallow breaths that create a lot of tension in our upper chest and our back. So by just taking a moment to slow down and noticing without any judgment on how our breath is coming in and out, and tapping into a bit of a deeper breathing, and sending that to help relax and rest the muscles before we start our day. And that will ultimately bring in more clarity and focus as we move through our day. Some of us deal with chronic pain, so there's a challenge in just getting out of bed and like feeling like we want to move our bodies. Maybe we just want to get right on our motorcycle, but by taking that time just to stretch your neck and your wrists and maybe a couple of back bends just to kind of wake up the spine, and our hips and our knees, our ankles, like they all play into um, helping strengthen and give us more balance and endurance for those rides. So,
It's
yeah.
great advice. I love that. Um, so conversely, does the feeling of freedom and focus you get on the motorcycle ever influence how you approach your yoga practice or teaching?
Really shifting from a state of doing into a state of being. And by being on your motorcycle, again, you're just kind of leaving behind all of those other things that you can't be doing right at that moment. Like if you're needing to change a baby's diaper, or maybe you have to cook dinner, or like you can't actually cook dinner or change a diaper on the motorcycle. So you have to leave those things behind. So you're really just shifting into that state of being. And maybe you think about those things, but it's almost like a bicep curl for your brain. So each time you catch yourself thinking and wandering, bringing that awareness back to that present moment is that bicep curl. So you're just enhancing and increasing your focus and attention, just bringing more clarity to your life. just knowing again that you have control over your thoughts. And sometimes, again, it may feel like a wild, rampant monkey mind, but again, just simply observing and taking that time without judgment to notice what's coming up for you and maybe wondering why you're thinking those things. And just using your breath as your anchor and as your guide to help bring you back to that present moment.
As you're talking about these things, I'm taking deep breaths and doing what you're telling me, and I feel that sense of calm, and I think that is such a great practice, and you just have to get into the habit of it. So I'm going to use that now like a bicep curl because I work out. So you need to breathe. And also, I'm a respiratory therapist, and I tell all my patients every day that the only bodily function that you can control is your breath and your breathing. You can't control your heart rate or your digestion, but you can control your breath. And that's a really great reminder, Sabrina. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk pre-ride ritual. Do you have a specific yoga pose or short sequence you absolutely swear by to get your mind and body ready for a ride? What do you do?
In the mornings, there's a sun salutation. It's just a basic sun sal A. So that incorporates the back bending, the forward folding, the quad stretch, and with your downward dogs, you're getting your backs of your legs along your hamstrings, and you're
Body.
also into like your hands and your wrists and your feet. Usually, before I do the sun salutation, I'll just start with a couple of wrist circles, as well as just waking up my neck. So just turning um, my head from left to right, making sure that I'm good for shoulder checking. Because on motorcycles, again, we want to make sure our head's on a swivel. So if you maybe are feeling particularly tight or tense in your neck, maybe you want to take a little time just to work that out before you hop on the bike.
That's great advice because, yeah, you're right. We do have to have our head on our swivel for safety. And I just did a long distance ride, and it wasn't even that far, really. It's only 200 kilometers this past weekend, just the other day. And my wrists do get sore, so I actually have a wrist rocker on my bike just to help with the throttle there.
I recently have one of those on my newer bike as well, and it makes a huge difference.
Awesome. Okay, and post ride, what's the best stretch for undoing that classic moto back or stiff shoulders after a long day of riding?
I would just encourage a couple of shoulder rolls. You can go over to the one side just to get into the muscles in the back there, and then
Feels great. Let's do it together.
there's always the back arch. So by arching the back, you're just countering that rounding when we're kind of forward. So just by lifting your chest up, and you can just kind of even come into a little bit of spinal flexion and extension. Are great. Sometimes, if you're feeling particularly stiff in your low back, you can, from a standing position, just lower your fingertips down to touch your knees. So you're coming into a bit of a side stretch. And then again on the other side. Um, for your feet, I'll always feel a little bit crammed in my boots. So I'll just do some toe raises where I come up and down, up off my heels and back down onto the earth. Um, it's not always ideal to come into the wall pose, like legs up the wall, if you're maybe going for a long ride to a bike meet and then you're socializing with friends, and it may be kind of awkward if you're like, hey, just give me a minute while I go, put my legs up the wall. But like
Yeah.
when you do find at the end of the day, maybe from a long ride, and you're not socializing with your friends and you're in the comfort and privacy of your own space, you would just scoot your hip up to the side of the wall and then just kind of rotate your legs up the wall. So if you do legs up the wall, it's a great counter pose for traveling. So even if you're not on a bike, if you're just sitting at the office all day in a chair, or if you're maybe traveling on a train or in a car or airplane, maybe flying to a crazy moto adventure. It's a great counter stretch for like post ride. Or sorry, yeah.
You have to stretch. Especially if you go on long rides, we should just make it a normal part of getting off your bike. Everybody should stretch. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask about the dreaded yoga butt on a long ride. Any secrets, tips for staying comfortable and centered when you're stuck in traffic or a multi-hour tour? Any?
Yes, I've been there quite a few times. The iron butt, where you're riding for long periods of time and you're stuck in traffic. The worst is when it's extremely hot and it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
hot. You feel like you're just melting in your gear. Um, so, so for the first one, I know we're coming down into the cooler temperatures with winter, but again, a lot of us can travel to warmer places for motorcycle rides, and it still has the potential to be quite warm on some of the days that we have left. So there's actually the Satali cooling breath that you can try. So if you stick out your tongue and just curl it, and then you're just taking tiny little sips of air. It may look kind of weird, but if you have your helmet on, maybe people won't see. Maybe you have to pop your visor up, or if you have an open face, again, you're a biker, who cares what people think, right? So you just take tiny little sips of air in. If you can't curl your tongue, you can just gently place it on the roof of your mouth and then just sip the air in. So that cool air that's coming in will help cool your body down. Maybe not as fast as you would like, but it's something to give you a little bit of a reprieve from sitting in hot, smelting traffic while you're waiting.
Totally gonna try that. What's your bike again? Your current ride? And
Well, I upgraded from the 650 Suzuki Savage, which was a perfect little starter bike for me.
oh,
A motorcycle mentor friend of mine asked me if I was interested in going splits on buying a motorcycle with him. So in Calgary, we bought an 1100 Kawasaki GPZ, and that was my um, mountain riding bike. So to go through the Rockies to Revelstoke, and
wow.
that really helped give me the confidence that I needed, that I was able to step into a bigger bike. So when I got out here, I looked for Suzuki V-Strom 1000. So that is my adventure bike, and I've taken that on some long distance rides, and it's so much more comfortable than my little Suzuki Savage.
Awesome. Yeah, we all got to start somewhere. I think I started on a 250 Honda. It was a 250 Honda Rebel. That's right. You got to start somewhere. Okay. What's your favorite type of ride in Ontario now? You came from Calgary, so it must be still beautiful. Like I went, like I said, just to the Lake of the Woods this past weekend, and the roads are A, so much better than what we have here in Manitoba, and B, just way more scenic and beautiful. So where do you enjoy riding locally?
Locally, I like riding out of the GTA towards Forks of the Credit. So it's got a lot of windy roads and beautiful scenery along the river and underneath the train tracks, and um, the leaves changing, especially in the fall. It's really beautiful. That's a little bit of a shorter ride. If I'm looking to go to my family cottage, I'll ride from here to Quebec. It's about
Wow.
a 5.5 hour ride if I'm taking the highway. And even then, it will take me about 8 hours because I like stopping at the Thousand Islands, checking out the local markets. I have something called like a wolf strap, or also known as a cargo strap. So I can put it over top of my seat because usually my bags are full, and then I'm always picking up extra things so I can secure my market finds with the
Shop as you ride. That's awesome. Anybody in the Moto community impacted your journey? You said you had a couple of mentors who helped you, and Any shout outs to anyone?
Yeah, initially, there were two women in Calgary, because I didn't think that I would actually get my own motorcycle when I first started riding, like on the back of my friend's bike. I just thought it was like really cool, but it seemed very dangerous, and I didn't think I was really maybe strong enough, or I just had all these kind of self-limiting beliefs. And then when I saw these women riders, particularly Jen from Calgary. She was riding her own bike out to the Rocky Mountains with these guys, and I just thought it was so badass. And also Bryn from Calgary, who had a little Vrago at the time and had said she would let me take it for a test ride in the parking lot, and gave me the tip on where I could go for motorcycle safety training. A huge catalyst for me jumping into riding and getting comfortable and then getting my own. So even though I had no friends in Ontario that rode, I literally knew no one. And there was a part where I was feeling very sad and kind of depressed, because when I came back from Alberta to Ontario, I didn't have a bike. I didn't have my bike license. I had like the piece of paper that said that I had my motorcycle. It was all about just being patient and eventually building those connections. And in time, it slowly built, and now I have ride friends all across the country, which is
Awesome. Okay, so finally, what's the number one piece of advice for a woman who's curious about either starting yoga or starting to ride? Says, thank you for sharing that because we all experience that self-doubt and self-limiting beliefs, like you said, but you can change your mindset and you can do anything you put your mind to. So,
yeah, mindset is everything. So when you have any sort of limiting beliefs around yoga and thinking that you're not flexible enough, or that you're not active or fit enough to, or that your mind is too crazy, and that you can't sit still long enough, that's where yoga is really a beautiful practice, because it's like a mini vacation for yourself, where you're just taking a time out to really check in with yourself and honor your body, and being able to modify things the way that your body needs to have those movements. So with yoga, I would encourage people to try if they haven't. My yoga class that's virtual is very gentle and accessible, by being able to do it in the comfort of your own home. When it comes to motorcycle riding, I would definitely recommend starting with a motorcycle safety training course, where you can learn how to operate the machine safely, and having the proper gear so that you feel protected and safe while you're riding. And then finding your community, like finding the girls that are going to inspire you and ride with you and share with you. So with yoga and motorcycle riding, you just have to start.
thank you so much, Sabrina, for sharing your story and sharing your experience with riding and yoga. I will post the details of when your online yoga is available to women motorcycle riders. I hope that we all join you and namaste.
Ah, namaste.
Namaste. I think you're meant to be doing what you're doing, Sabrina. Like, honestly, you have that presence about you, and I love that you shared your story. And I hope you continue to inspire other women riders and remind us that, yeah, we can do anything we put our mind to. So, thank you for what you do for the Moto community. I think you're incredible, and your grandma's lucky to have you. I wish my grandma was still around. So you make sure you hug her every day and you practice with her every day. You're very blessed, okay?
Likewise, thank you for everything that you're doing for the Moto community. I absolutely love seeing more female riders getting out on the road, and I think people that are, sharing their stories and experiences, and encouraging and inviting others to join this community is what helps it feel safe and grow. So
Yes.
excellent. Yes. So thank you for taking the time to reach out to me. And I really appreciate this. Oh, so thank you.